Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Yamisten here, back again with another video. Welcome to episode 3 of After the Hype. And for this episode, we have the Endgame Gear OP18K. This came out last year, very strong. A lot of people reviewers had it. They recommended it even though it was a wired mice based purely on the shape and the clicks and the build quality obviously. And even mouse enthusiasts love this so much. Like VT Minigod loved this mouse so much that he posted a Steam community wherein you can join if you use this mice. So let's see if the hype is still real, or should you just buy something else, or even get like the wireless version of this mouse. Okay. So first, let's talk about the build quality, which is really good, obviously. Like as expected from Endgame Gear products, this is built like a tank. There is no creaking, even though, as you can see, I'm gripping this mouse tightly on the sides. There's no side flexing. Um, Mouse 1 and mouse 2 shells are perfectly aligned. Like there's no wobbling, there's no click wobble or anything. I don't feel any switch grinding or anything like that. So build quality is really good. Uh, what I also like about this mouse is, as you can see, there are like two screws at the bottom that you can easily unscrew, and you can easily remove the top shell, and you can access the main clicks if you want to switch them out, or maybe you want to change the top shell with something like the Purple Frost variant. You can also do that. So I've seen some people do that. So yeah, so that's cool. Coating on this mouse is also good. Like it's nice, rubberized, typical of endgame gear coating. Like the only problem I have is on the black version. Like as you can see, it's slowly getting smudged with fingerprints because my hands are sweaty. But yeah, the wire is also good. Like I like the wire. Like I wish it was a bit thinner, I guess, because like I did have trouble getting it into a mouse bungee. But overall, the wire is okay. Like I've never had a scenario where in the wire tug was too much that it caused me to miss a flick or something like that. So the wire is also okay. Stock skate, they're fine. Like they're not the fastest out there. Like I would switch them with something faster if the third party skates actually had holes for the screws, but they're fine. Like they're nice, they're smooth, but they're not as fast like something like the Jades. Okay. So next, let's talk about the clicks, which I already alluded to. They're using KLGX switches, which is easily one of my favorite mouse switches. Like the feel of this is so good. Like it's nice, light, spammable, and crisp feeling, which is very important. There's minimal to no pre-travel or post-travel on the main clicks. On the side buttons, there's a bit of post, but not a lot, and there's minimal pre-travel on it. Scroll wheel wise, like I like the scroll wheel they're using. The encoders feels nice. Well-defined steps if you go slow, but you can also go fast. Clicks are okay. Like the scroll wheel clicks are okay. They're nice and serviceable. Okay, so let's do a quick sound test for the clicks. Okay, next, let's talk shape, which is arguably one of the most important things you should consider when buying a mouse. So, the shape of the OP18K, the best way I can describe it, it's a short and small mouse with a back hump and flat side walls. Okay, so compared to something like the Sora V2, which I previously reviewed, um, the feeling of when you claw grip the OP18K, at least to me, it feels obviously narrower compared to the Sora V2. And because of that, like I feel like, when you claw grip like this, like it meets my fingers to a point wherein it's a bit narrower compared to something like the Sora V2, which you can see is a bit wider. So when I claw grip, it's like this. But when I claw grip this mouse, like it's a bit different. Like it's smaller like that. So shape wise, then compared to something like the Skyrox V8, which is a smaller mouse, which is very different. Like this also has flared sidewalls, and the back hump is very bulbous feeling in the hand. So out of the three, like which shape I choose if I had to claw grip, I'd say actually the OP18K. If I'm being completely honest, like OP18K shape is very good for claw grip, like because of the flat sidewalls. Like there's enough grooves for my finger to for my ring and pinky finger to rest, so it doesn't fatigue me when I claw grip. as opposed to something like the Sora V2, which is okay for claw grip, but it is a bit wider and it's also flared. The sidewalls are flared, like the Skyrox V8. So claw gripping sometimes get tiring, I guess. But overall, like shape wise, I do prefer the OP18K, like for claw grip. Like I would love to have the WL mouse Ying because it's very similar to the OP18K, but it's a lot lighter. So yeah. Next, let's talk about the performance of the mouse. So sensor performance of this, no problem there. Like I've had no issues with this 3395 sensor. Like there's no skipping, no tracking issues, and also you can enable using the Endgame Gear software, make this the fastest performing click latency mouse out there in the mouse market. They have that setting called GX speed, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So performance is really isn't an issue here. Like that weight wise, like this weighs at 50 grams on my scale. Like the wireless version, I think weighs 58.5 or like closer to 59 grams, like from Endgame Gear, and obviously the Ying, which is out of stock, but it weighs under 40 grams if I'm not mistaken. So those are the shape that are very similar to the OP18K. Yeah. So overall, conclusion. Uh, what do I think of the OP18K in 2025? So obviously this is still a good mouse. Like I would actually recommend this over the OP1 4K, the wireless version, because simply because if you haven't tried the shape and you want to try it, like I would suggest this mouse, as long as you're okay with running a wire. Like for me, like running a wire on this mouse is no issue at all. Like the bungee is good. Like it doesn't really feel like I'm dragging the wire on my mouse pad right now. So I have no qualms there. So for me, like if you're just starting out and you just want to try the OP1 shape and you're not sure if you're gonna like it, either get the OP1 8K or even just the regular OP1 wired. Yeah, the wired version. Yeah, because it's a bit cheaper compared to the OP1 4K wireless, I think, which is like 110, I think, 110 US dollars. So it's a big of a jump compared to 80. So I'd suggest save the money, just try it out first. And if you do like it, then you can just sell this and then buy the either the OP1 4K or just go with the Ying, the WL mouse Ying. But I've heard that the WL mouse Ying did have problems with their batch one. Like problem is with the side buttons. I think there's more post travel than some people would like. Like build quality isn't there yet, but hopefully it gets fixed for future batches, which we don't know when will it be it arriving. Like we don't know when it's coming out again, like when they're gonna restock it and go on sale again. So yeah, that those are things to consider. But in the year 2025, as long as you're satisfied with running a wired mouse, like OP1 8K is hard to beat, and it's actually my number one wired mouse recommendation out there right now. Advantages of running wired in 2025, like you don't have to worry about battery life. Like a review of this is coming out together with the Kyrax V6. Like I'm gonna do a V6 and V8 review soon. Uh, Spoiler alert, battery life on this mouse isn't really good, especially if you run it at 2K hertz. Like the battery life sucks here, especially compared to something like the Sora V2. But yeah, so one of the advantages of running a wire is you don't have to charge it. So yeah, so that's basically it. OP1 8K still recommended in 2025. I hope you guys like this review. If you do, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.